I had a wife. I had a son. I had hoped to pass this farm to him one day, the same way my father did to me and his father to him. But the universe had other ideas. They called it the Noxiverse. It took my family from me. And, well, I was spared, as they say. However, it was a curse to remain in limbo, if you're of the religious type. So I remained, and I suffered, too afraid to join my family. I wandered for a while, couldn't face dealing with what remained of them. Shambling corpses, dead. After what felt like an eternity, the houses I knew would be safe started to diminish. I took risks, went to towns, went to houses I didn't know about. It wasn't very useful. Every house that was an easy score was picked clean and marked. There's more out there. That's all I knew from this. Finally, those that made their mark found me. Figured this was it. A bullet straight through the head. But not now. They took me in, and we drove for what seemed like forever, not knowing if it was all a ruse, a tale that they spun just to get me there. But no, they called themselves Fallen Angels, a group dedicated to bringing people to a settlement called Havenstead. A corny name, but I can't fault the label. In this world, it felt like the last bastion, the last hope, the last safe haven. To make residence, you got to earn your keep. Red bands, that's what they call them. People permitted to enter the settlement to work, but not to stay. I told them of my experience in farming, so they had me tending to crops of tomatoes and grapes and all other such useless things. Other folks' lands. I insisted on using machines, but they proclaimed they have no production chain to mill wheat or process corn, as all industrial areas are still overrun, so tomatoes will do. We'll starve, no doubt. And starve they did in the first year, relying on scavengers to keep the hunger at bay. The winter of turmoil is what they coined it afterwards. I earned my place in Havenstead during those hard times. 30 units back then, not sure what it is now. Double, triple, it doesn't matter to me. I can't remember the last time I stepped foot through those gates. I offered one of the managers a role called the Sustenance Supervisor to reclaim my farm, and I would work it. He refused, insisted their forces was too busy dealing with more pressing issues. So I took it upon myself. I hired a contractor, made a deal, told him straight up I didn't have a single unit spare to my name, but I would with time. Told him 80 units every year, and all he has to do is help me reclaim my farm for myself. A deal far too great for him to pass over. We set off to the farm, and the deal was he'd take care of those abominations. And keep watch for the week while I settle in, and we'd part ways after that. Only exception, I would take care of my wife, my boy. I would do it alone. And so that's what I did. I put them to rest and started my new life, a new chapter. Moving on, finally. I was too brave to join them. I had too much to do. You see, my tractors, my harvesters, they break. And way back when, you could easily get parts just by ordering them from the catalog. But now, you need the scavs. Find replacement parts. A finite solution until the Unity get their machinery production going, if they ever do. Until then, what I make gets shipped to the northern houses. The biggest food manufacturing power in the world. That remains, that is. Because it didn't seem like anyone else was taking any offers. Word spread, obviously, as it does, and other dissatisfied people did the same as I. Took it upon themselves to reclaim their farms. Even ones who'd never worked before tried their luck at it. Find whatever adequate machinery they can, and do what they will. Thanks to our combined efforts, few were starved that winter. That was down to us. However, with this, it did nothing but consolidate the northern house's power over food resources. Many a settlement doted on their deliveries. My ally, my business partner, the contractor Pine, we renegotiated. I included him in my plan to expand, have all farms in the vicinity under us. He agreed, shook on a 50-50 deal. Him the security and logistics, I the production. It was just after the second winter did we swarm. More men came from all around who had no place. They found work and a home with us. With that, we continued. All scavenger groups, now slowly becoming obsolete, the society were far more willing to locate and retrieve all farming vehicles they could. For scraps and repairs, obviously. A finite solution once again. Both I and Pine expanded. Just like his namesake, he grew. And a team of enforcers now, consisting of 20 men, muscled and intimidated all who opposed us. Vaders often tried to test us, sending out every so often, but Pine retorted with a sharp lesson of his own, taking the fight to them. By year 5, I had no need to work any field, no need to sow the ground, for the fruits of my labors came from cultivating an empire of corn, soybeans, and wheat. So much so they monarched me the Corn King, an empire rule with a heavy hand. Those that rejected me before came to rely on me and butter me with their soft, soothing words. I had grown a bountiful world from salted earth, as all will remember me as the man who fed what remained.